Well, the Republican Party is in such a mess these days, you'd think they were responsible for problems along the border, too. Oh, wait, they are. I've been telling you about hellholes like Nuevo Laredo. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call it a hellhole, more of a death trap. It's a town just across the border from Laredo, Texas. How the drug lords there are warring with the Mexican government, and innocent American citizens are getting caught in the crossfire. In volatile border towns all across Texas and Arizona, kidnappings and murders are now becoming the new normal. Here is the worst part. It is only getting worse. Organized, well-financed Mexican kidnapping cells are targeting residents along the California coast. Last year, at least 26 San Diego County residents were kidnapped and held for ransom in Mexico. Not all of them made it home alive. Why haven't you heard this story anywhere? We have got to get our border under control. It's a situation that worsens day by day, and Washington doesn't seem interested in stopping the madness. But John McCain's on the horizon to ride in and fix it. Considering the batch of bozos who are likely going to be our next president, none of them seem to be up to the job. Tony Manolatos, he's from the San Diego Union-Tribune. He has been covering the story. Also with us is Mike Cutler, former special agent for the INS and senior fellow for the Center of Immigration Studies. Tony, let me just start with you. You're the guy who's covered this and broken this story. What is happening down there?
Well, as you say, Glenn, the kidnappings are on the rise. 26 last year compared to 11 in 2006. So, you know, we definitely thought it was newsworthy enough to get the story in our paper.
Yeah, you think 26 Americans have been kidnapped, and you can't find this story anywhere. Thank you for the job that you've done on this. Every time I see this anywhere, it's always made to make the Americans look like, oh, well, they're in the drug business. Oh, these were bad Americans anyway. We shouldn't care about these Americans. Who were these people, and how are they being targeted?
Well, it did surprise me when I first got the tip and I took it to the FBI that, you know, the FBI was saying that 90% of the folks who are getting kidnapped are innocent victims, have no criminal ties at all. I did ask, you know, well, how are they getting targeted? And the agents said, you know, these folks generally, they have business and family interests in Mexico, and they cross the border, you know, weekly, sometimes daily. So they have a presence down there that a lot of us in San Diego don't have. And a lot of times they're alone when they're down there, and they become easy targets.
You have any did you have a hard time covering this story at all? Did you get any pressure? I know in Texas, a lot of the reporters are afraid to do it. They're blowing, just across the border in Mexico, they're blowing up newspaper offices and threatening reporters. Did you have any problem reporting this story?
No. It came to me from a source. I took it to the FBI, and the FBI sat down with me a day or two later, and then we got it in the paper the next day. So it went pretty smooth.
Mike, they're not targeting the Americans here in America. They are waiting for them to cross the border.
Right.
This was happening in Texas. It's now happening in Arizona. It's now happening in California. What does this tell you about the future?
Well, I think the future is bleak if we can't gain control over our border and have a credible force along not only our border, but from within the interior of the United States enforcing the law. Look at it this way, Glenn. If you look at communities that have lots of immigrants, you find that the folks bring with them, and this is one of the wonderful things about a place like New York, the food, the music, the culture, but also there's a climate of violence that pervades Latin America. In Colombia, for example, one of the biggest ways for organized crime to make money is by the kidnappings that we're seeing in Mexico. My fear is that ultimately this will be happening throughout the United States. Just as narcotics makes their way completely across the country from the border, I'm concerned that as more and more gang members, and we're seeing it throughout the country, MS-13, as they extend their tentacles throughout our country, the violence, the tactic of kidnapping and other crimes that kill people are going to be carried out against American citizens.
Mike, what are you going to do? Americans raise their voice, and then for some reason, Clinton came out and she had a statement in the last in the last debate that she doesn't think it's right to give driver's license to illegals because it would be proof that they were here illegally. I kid you not, that's what she said.
Unbelievable.
Obama doesn't want to do anything about it. John McCain isn't serious about the border.
No, he's not.
What are we supposed to do about it?
But the American people aren't being heard. Remember almost 2 years ago when hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens and their supporters took to the streets chanting, "Si se puede, yes I can," a chant, by the way, that Mr. Obama has picked up on. You saw very few Americans standing on the opposite side of the street saying, wait a moment, you folks aren't immigrants, you're illegal aliens. You know, I've often made the point the difference between an immigrant and an illegal alien is the difference between a house guest and a burglar.
Yep.
But the politicians have an agenda. I don't know what to tell you, Glenn.
All right. Tony, Mike, thank you very much. By the way, I've told you before that we are going down to the border, and we're going to cover this firsthand, but it takes a lot of logistics, and we will be there. Now.